your source for everything paranormal. Para X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The calling.
And good evening once again in this year of 2021, somewhere in September in Minnesota and stuff. Look at Kim, she's looking at me with that blank face. And there's Willow just sitting there going, can this be over with soon? Yep, it's over with. Okay. So.
I was just wondering where it was going.
I don't know. I was kind of hoping you guys were going to jump in there. And
Oh.
Well, you left out New Orleans. I mean, for now.
Yeah. Well, that was on purpose.
Oh, well.
Oh, crap. So what's up, ladies?
Happy Mamba Day. Is that how you pronounce it? Mamba.
Maybon.
Say it again.
Maybon.
Yeah, that too. That
Okay.
too.
Fall equinox. Mm-hmm.
Fall equinox. There you go. Okay.
There you go.
What were you guys saying before? One person say it.
Maybon.
Maybon. Is that what it's-
Mabon. Maybon.
Maybon.
It is the pagan celebration of the second harvest.
Okay. What happened to the first harvest?
That was on Lughnasadh. That was in August.
Oh, okay. Is that sort of like first breakfast and second breakfast from?
Yeah, like
Okay.
my cats have. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, so with all this stuff starting to happen and everything else and stuff, have you guys had anything strange happen in your home?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Kimberly?
Well, just the abilities, they're starting to kind of amp up a little. I don't know why. Does that even have anything to do with the thinning of the veil and the Mercury? Does it in a sense?
Well, I would say if your mediumship skills are opening up, yes.
No, well, they should be open the majority of the time. Is what I'm saying. But they're really amping up. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. We're about to do some things pretty soon, and I don't know. It just seems like things are really happening. Like, I'll explain later after everything goes, and because it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you that much. It's going to be very interesting. So. Well,
that's pretty cool. Well, I had something happen. I spent a few days over at Steph's place watching the animals. Melly and Zooey. Well, Steph and Casey went flying off to Friday Harbor. Anyway, so we used to have 3 cats: Lolita, Bobo, and now is just left is Zooey. And Zooey is a little heater. But anyways, each one of them had to have shots into their mouth for thyroid problems. Mm-hmm. It was Lolita first, and Lolita, you'd give her a shot, you had to play the game. And the game is to pretty much chase her around and everything. And then once you got her, you would have her in your arm. And then Steph used to always say to that cat, because Lolita wouldn't take it, she used to always say, no, no, no. After a while, Lolita started mimicking that sound coming from Steph and would actually say, no, 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 and it sounded just like it, Yeah. So funny thing. I mean, there was a ritual to giving Lolita her medicine. Now, Bo is every veterinarian's nightmare. She would turn your arm into shredded beef in no time whatsoever. She was nasty and mean. So giving her medicine was really tough, and she just would not, accept it. But anyway, I wore gloves at that time when I had to give it to her. But anyway, so now Zooey used to take it. She used to fight a little bit, and she would take it. But there was sometimes like she would aim it directly at you and spit it in your face. So over the weekend, it was time to give her medicine, and I went to go try to pick her up, and she's running around like Lolita did. And for this brief second, I seen Lolita. That could have been just me, And then she started being really kind of fighty and stuff, trying to, when I was trying to pick her up and stuff. This is just like a minute after that. And she was not nasty and mean. She could be, Steph. Don't start that. Anyway, you ask the veterinarians, they'll tell you. So anyway, then I went to go and try to pick her up. And just for that brief moment, she looked exactly like Bobo. Gave her medicine. Of course, she spit it all over and stuff. Was sitting in the cat's room. They have their own room. And sitting on the bed and was petting Zooey, and I felt these eyes looking at me. Well, I bought this pillow for Steph that is a picture of Lolita, and it's bigger than Lolita would be. And it just felt like she was looking at me. And as I got this uneasy feeling, I looked over at the door. We had a pet door cut in there, and the door was shut. And there was Lolita looking through the door at me. It scared me so bad. Now, Lolita's been dead for years, Wow. And so then a little while later, there's Bobo was in there too, and it was absolutely crazy. So anyway, go ahead, Kim. What were you, or Kim or Willow, whatever, which one you're going to say?
Well, for me, I've been having things flying off altars in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., being woke up to the sound of crashing glass onto the floor, thinking it was the cats. I go out to check the cats. The cats are in the front room. They're nowhere near the altar. And when I looked, it was Dambala's altar. Now, he's what we call the Almighty. He is the maker, the creator. And he's where your money comes from in voodoo. So for me, I look, and it was his altar that was smashed onto the floor. Now, this is funny. Not funny, but interesting. So I woke up in the middle of the night. I got to clean up all this glass because they knocked over my Rose of Jericho dish, all the candle holders. I had stones and crystals all over the floor. But the weirdest thing was the altar cloth wasn't moved. And the veve, which is a 12 by 12 canvas that I painted on for his veve, was in the middle of the room. And the glass, okay, and that's up against the wall. It rests on the wall on the mantle. That's in the middle of the room. And all of the glass is shattered between the veve and the mantle. So it made no sense. And my cats are looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, well, who did it? But then I realized that they couldn't have done it, because if they had, they would have pulled the altar cloth completely down. Right. That's how it would have been, like ripping the tablecloth out from underneath, the place setting kind of thing. That's what it would have done. They didn't move the cloth. That made no sense. That was just one. Last night I got woke up at 3 a.m. again, which sounded like something crawling in my wall, and the cats even woke up. We're all staring at the wall.
It's a rat.
And it could have been. I will tell you, it could have been. I tried to debunk it. But our Squirrels Nocturnal I don't think so. I see them out during the day, so I don't think they're nocturnal.
No, they wouldn't be.
I've seen rats around here, but they're little. They're not that big. This sounded like a squirrel or bigger.
Well, it could be one of your lizard things, like a Komodo dragon or something.
Well, I mean, it's how the sound was. It was like a full-sized animal was in, but that makes no sense. But anyway,
or possums. You've had possums at your place.
We have. But it was just very strange. Normally I hear them in the attic. I don't hear them in the wall.
Right.
That's when it was just kind of weird. And it only lasted from 3 a.m. till 4 a.m.
Has it happened after that, or?
Nope, it stopped.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to debunk it. Probably an animal of some sort. But it was just strange that it started at 3 a.m. and it ended at 4 a.m.
Right.
The same time that, like, the altar had been knocked. Now, the reason I thought the altar was very strange is it was that day, in the very same room, I was talking to my best friend about me moving. I think I upset the spirits thinking I would leave them here. They're invited to come with me. I don't care. They can come along with me. They can go anywhere they want. I welcome them to follow me. I don't want to leave them behind. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So, not in this house. No, you don't have to stay here. You can come with me. We're going to have a spiritual place. You are more than welcome. But I found that very interesting that it happened the night that I talked about moving, and they get upset. I can't make some of my oils or spirituals, the sprays, in the seance room because they will throw things off the table while I'm trying to make it. So I have to do it in another room. Yeah, I have to do it in another room because this is their space. They literally, I have put up a barrier between the other part of the house and this room. This room is specifically for spiritual activity.
Huh.
I have my portal mirrors, my haunted objects, my dolls, everything are in this room.
Time to burn the dolls.
No. I love my dolls.
No,
Don't
burn them.
dolls.
They're coming
Doesn't
with
make it
me.
any better.
I love them.
No burning dolls.
Burning dolls.
No.
Anyways.
Not in my presence. I love my dolls. But
so what are we talking about, Jerry?
Burning dolls right now.
Why would you burn dolls?
The veil
Why
is
wouldn't you
thin. I mean, come on. The veil is thin.
Is.
We welcome spirit. You know, it's like for us of my pagan persuasion, we'll just say.
I like that.
I love this time of year.
Me too.
I walk with spirit every day anyway, and it just makes my job so much easier this time of year.
It does. That's
so
true.
I'm like, yeah, come on in.
Who doesn't like the nostalgic of the fall when it's nice and crispy and cold and just beautiful, and you have fire and you just drink that hot cocoa and you just the whole nostalgic part of it, and it's awesome.
Apple cider and cinnamon donuts. Ooh.
That's really good.
Okay, so you were asking what is the topic of the show? It's not cinnamon stuff or what.
That was kind of like, wow. So
it's what does the thinning of the veil bring? So what does it bring, you guys?
It brings us closer to the other side.
Such a spirit. Spirits come
and
and go through the thinning of the veil. That's for sure.
We walk with them. Yeah, we walk with them.
Yeah. I agree fully.
I love it because it's easier for us to connect with our ancestors and our deceased loved ones. And you probably are going to find that you have more dreams that are really vivid because they're visitations from your deceased loved ones. It'll be easier to get the messages. Like if you need closure, you can get more information that way. I love doing readings during this time of year. They are just so spot on, very, very clear. Spirits just love this time of year because they can mingle with us so easily.
Yeah, that is true. It's the time when the dead can re-speak again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and even this whole year with the Mercury retrograde and everything's just that. I think it's like really crazy too with just even people. You know what I mean? With just
Yeah.
people on the. I think even that. And maybe and what the thinning of the veil. I mean, what if people's abilities are amped up as well? You know
Well,
what I
they are.
mean?
Yeah, I'm sure
And
they
then it's
are.
throwing off all this craziness off on the earth and everything, because everybody's just so amped up and everything, because of it, I
Well,
don't know.
yeah. Well, I mean, if we look at it, well, what is on the other side? It's like another dimension, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
the wall in the dimension is gone. And if the wall in the dimension is gone, we can mingle with that collective consciousness, let's
Mm-hmm.
say, because that's how I believe. I believe we all go back into this collective consciousness. We can still pick out the energy of who you were in the physical,
Right.
but at the same time, we are now back into that flow of energy of where we all come from.
Right.
And so I love that because I feel like that does raise our energy. It does raise our spiritual gifts.
Right.
Because we're able to tap into it better.
I even think that, like, when you even are outside and you're getting like close to nature, like say you're walking in the woods or whatnot, especially around this time, I feel like it's really like amped because you're not only talking your animals, you're talking like, the trees, the grass, the earth itself, you're really, I mean, if you utilize that and be like putting your bare feet into the ground, you're really going to soak it up. Like the moon was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, can't tell me the moon. I took so many great pictures of the moon this week. It was amazing. Like today is the last day, I think, of the moon.
Yes.
I think it is, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it was pretty crazy beautiful. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you make any moon water? Because I do love making moon water. I love
No, but I will tell you I did some ritual work because
Did you?
I needed to open the road. I needed to open the road and release and get rid of all the barriers and obstacles that could be in my way for my new move. And
Yeah.
I'm so excited about my move. I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm planning in the next several months to be moving to North Carolina. And my best friend and her husband are looking at different buildings for us to have a physical brick and mortar type of spiritual shop. So
Nice.
I am so excited right now that I can't even think straight. And then all of the activities going on,
Yeah.
and it's hard to sleep. But
Right.
so I did my road opener last night, and so went to Papa Legba, and I live at the crossroads, so it's perfect,
Right.
And I asked to open that road and release all those obstacles. Perfect for that full moon energy. But now when the veil is starting to thin, it's even better because it's easier to talk to the deities. It's easier to work with them. So, and this was also the fall equinox when your day and night is equal and the energies, and leading up to it, I think a lot of people were feeling a big shift. It was like we started to reminisce about the past, but release it at the same time. We were able to just basically open ourselves up to so much. But I felt like I was downloading information at the same time as just feeling like all my gifts were like accelerated or heightened.
Yeah. See, I felt that way too.
But
especially going through the moon.
But it was a full moon, but it was also because the moon was also on the fall equinox on Mavon.
Right.
So we got double whammy, which was awesome. So I love this time of year. I love walking with the spirit.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's, the big interesting thing about that is, we had the Para Expo coming up in 2 weeks and 1 day. That's when us three finally get to meet each other
Right.
face to face, except for I already know you.
I know you too, Jerry.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Anyway, the amount of activity that has just exploded over there at the Hotel Bar and Grill is incredible.
Well,
The stories that they're telling us is crazy.
Just the show, Jerry. Just the show that we did with Chris, and just seeing those. I couldn't believe I saw that. It was just amazing. So it's got to be, I was just like, what the hell am I seeing right now? I would just thought it was crazy cool. So I could imagine what it's going to be like in 2 weeks. It's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah. I hope it's still ramped up the way it is. It was that show was insane. And did you tape the last one?
Yeah, I did tape, and I don't see anything, out of the order. I can share it with you. I'll try to share it with you and see.
Okay.
But I mean,
yeah, I wish I could see it because I didn't get to see it.
I think what I saw was amazing. I'm not kidding. It was really like, it just was. So it looked like smoke, but it looked like it was forming something, and it was right next to her. And so I thought she was smoking. I thought her cigarette was sitting where her computer was, right? And I thought, oh, she's smoking. Wait a minute. How is she smoking in a hotel room? You know what I mean? Because there's like restrictions, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I was like afraid to ask her, are you smoking? I just want to know, are you smoking? I was afraid to ask her. And then all of a sudden Jerry says, oh my God, I think I just see something. And I said, wait a minute, because I wanted to put my input first,
Yep. That's when you asked her if she was smoking. She said, no, there's no smoking up here. And there's not. That was insane because it was swirling in a tight pattern.
Yes.
It was forming. Then the second one was when we were looking, it was across the bed, just at the foot of the bed where the first, what do you call those posts, the bed posts.
Bed posts.
Yeah. If you guys, when we talk bed posts, these are huge, thick bed posts, and you could see something starting to form before it, and then as it passed through, then you could see the head of a little blonde girl going past, and that just, wow, almost lost my cookies there.
Well, I was telling Kimberly earlier, I did a new video for my Willow Le Machant Divine Magic channel. And when I reviewed it, I saw some light anomaly manifest next to me on my left side and float up. There was no air conditioning going, no overhead fans, nothing. And it looked like a lighted thread that went up next to me. I'm like, well, I wonder if anybody else sees that. So if anybody wants to see that video, check it out. Because honestly, I'd like to have it debunked. I would like to know what it was. The cats weren't, the cat was laying down. So nobody was like, hitting dust or anything. And I was just sitting there by myself. And this light anomaly just, and I'm like, what the heck was that? I had to rewatch it several times. So yeah, I can only imagine what you guys saw when Chris was sitting there because I wanted to see it. But that's okay. I'll be there in a couple of weeks, and I'll be able to see my own stuff.
Yeah, so will I. I'll be excited.
Well, there's one of the things, too, is that make sure that, because I know, Kimmy, you're staying in room 4S, no Ouija board stuff.
Oh, I don't do that, Jerry. You know that.
Okay. Oh, just making sure here now.
No, I don't do that.
Steph made us pumpkin muffins.
I just made pumpkin muffins.
Yep.
How did you just get invited?
What?
You go, Steph just made us pumpkin muffins.
What?
I'm sure that she's
She'll
very
give me
nice.
some.
She'll share. She'll share.
Ooh, I bet you it smells good, especially pumpkin. I mean, come on. Pumpkin is like the best. I don't know. How do you guys feel about pumpkin spice everything? You know what I mean?
I like pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie.
I love pumpkin pie.
And I like pumpkin rolls with the cream cheese filling in it and the nuts on the outside. I like that.
Ooh.
I do like those. Those are nummy. That's it.
So obviously Jerry's like, no pumpkin for me. I mean,
No.
But they
The pumpkin muffins are awesome. She makes great muffins. Like the apple are the best that she makes.
Nice.
Do you hear that, Steph? The apple are my favorite.
So make pumpkin. Make pumpkin.
She says maybe you'll. But I think the pumpkin spice gets a little crazy because they have pumpkin spice everything. And I just think, ugh. I'm like, I don't know how people can eat that stuff.
Right,
but
they should have candy corn everything then,
Oh,
no.
my God.
Oh no! Wait.
Gross.
Candy corn's big in the vampire community. Don't ask. I don't know. I don't understand why. It is.
I remember the neighbor kid used to always take candy corn and stuff them on his eye teeth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and after about the third year, they were rotting so bad.
Ooh.
Well, you do need to brush your teeth after that. That just.
This kid never did.
Oh. Well, that's scary in itself. You become a jack-o'-lantern that way.
Ooh, pumpkin scones, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin coffee creamer, pumpkin cookies. So I guess Geeks does love pumpkin.
Why am I not seeing that?
That's because you weren't supposed to.
I guess not. It's okay.
So anyway, let's get back to what we were supposed to be talking about and stuff like that. Now, one of the big things, too, that people are talking about, especially during the thinning of the veil, is visitations.
Mm-hmm.
So have you seen anything yet? I mean, to me, the cats were the visitations.
Yeah.
Any visitations you guys have noticed, or have you ever had a visitation you'd like to talk about?
I have visitations all the time, but it's kind of my job.
Well, then you just sit there and be quiet. No.
Great.
Kim?
I feel like, okay, so I'm going to be doing this investigation here pretty soon. And we were just talking about, I was explaining to some of these people that we were visiting over the weekend, because the person who owns this place, it's a bed and breakfast. And the person who owns this place, I kind of told her what I had. Well, it's like this. I saw her doing some advertisement, and I said, I wonder if she's seen the lady in the upstairs. So all of a sudden, I see this friend of mine. We were at the downtown bar, and I see this friend of mine, and she says, oh, my God, Kim, I need to talk to you, because she knows I'm into the paranormal. And I said, yeah, what's going on? She goes, do you know the new lady that owns this bar, bread and breakfast? And I said, no, I don't. And she says, you need to get a hold of her. I go, oh, did she already see the lady that's upstairs? And she goes, what did you just say? And I said, the lady that's upstairs. Has she seen her yet? And she goes, oh, my God. I was about to tell you that she saw a lady upstairs. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So then we connected and everything. So we're going to be doing an investigation. But I also told her that I see a child. Now, the interesting part of it is that the people who own, and they're the only one, I think it was only 3 owners. I'm not clear of that yet. And then we connected with the Historic Society person, and she's told us a lot of things. But when I told her, the only thing is I don't want to know anything that they find out, because I want to see if I can touch base on that once I go in to do this investigation. So that's why I'm really excited, because already she's already getting the children. So apparently the minute I did a walkthrough real quick, and I did tell her that I see this boy, and I see a boy, a young boy, a child. And then the other day, somebody told her, I just saw a child. And she said, what? And he goes, no. He goes, you don't have nobody else here, because it is a bed and breakfast. She's like, no. She goes, you saw them? Anyway, so I'll tell you guys more. We're going on break.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking looking for a truly unique podcast experience, we have you covered. Spirit Bayou with CJ Dunham airs live from the Third Coast in Southeast Texas on Tuesday and Fridays at midnight Eastern Time, covering Creole folklore and folk magic to strange paranormal activity to new equipment for the field. CJ Dunham is a Catholic swamp witch, a devotee to our Mother Mary and the Trinity, a true believer in our Lord, the Holy Ghost, and Christ. Peace be with your spirit and the spirits by you.
Those geek ladies, Sean and Victoria from Exploring the Paranormal with Geeks Paranormal, are at it again with another amazing season full of paranormal celebrity interviews with amazing guests and stories of haunted locations and so much more. You will hear it first on Para X. Tune in Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central. You will not be disappointed.
Whether you're listening at home, at work, or anywhere, thanks for making Para X part of your day. Your source for everything paranormal, Para X.
And we are back. This is Jerry with the Calling, along with Kimberly Juarez and Willow Leigh Machant. And hey, if you just joined us and you're wondering what happened the first half, don't ask me. Wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow will be on our website, www.thecallingradioshow.com, and on our YouTube channel, The Calling Radio Show. Doesn't stop there, you guys. ParaXRadioNetwork.com has the best shows around. Seriously. Right after us tonight is Geeks Paranormal. Check out what Shauna's got to say. Shauna. And then also on Tuesday nights, check out what Stephanie and Heidi have to say. Sometimes they get a guest that gets swears. They did last night. Anyway, check them out. That's The Gathering at Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And where? Only at paraxradio.com. Now, let's go back to what we were talking about. Kim, do you want to take off where you were at?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the comments on, I don't know how far this has gone through, but they're saying, how do you use, like, your abilities? It says when you don't have abilities to see, I don't know if they're saying you should be more informed or, so this is how we do it. So our team, sometimes I like to just, because I read homes, and sometimes I could just pass a home, and all of a sudden I get something, your little spidey senses go off. I don't say I have these gifts. I don't say I'm this medium or anything like that. It just so happens, and that's how it works.
Spider girl.
Well, you know what I mean. It just happens that way. But so usually my investigators know more information than I do, or we do the research, like they'll go and do the research, especially if we know that we can go into the historic society or the library, and we do a lot of the research, or even online. And although I don't like online stuff because it's not always, great, but that's how I do it. And sometimes my abilities just, since it just so happens to fall that way. I don't know how it works in that sense, or how, it just so happens that one day I was reading the home, and all of a sudden, this bed and breakfast, and yes, all of a sudden she did see a female upstairs, and and I just think it's a little bit bizarre. Now, to go back, so apparently there are children in the home. Apparently there are some spirit children, because a guest of hers did see them, because she did, she runs a bed and breakfast and everything. So now we're going to be doing, that's weird.
Hold on, heavy static.
That was
Okay.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Go ahead, Kimmy.
So, anyways, I got in touch with the Historic Society lady, and they connected. So they're going to find out more about the home. So apparently she gave her a package. And when I talked to the Historic Society lady, I told her I didn't want to know any more information than there was, that I wanted to walk and kind of talk about what I found. And I guess there is a package. She got her this little square package and put it in her mailbox and said, this is from the Historic Society. So, and then she did put a note saying, please do not tell Kim. Kim will tell you. So something's going to happen, you guys. I'm so excited and I'm so pumped. And we're going to be doing this apparently on All Hallows Eve, which is the 30th to midnight.
Oh, very
so
cool.
We're excited.
That'll be
We're
nice.
very excited. Yeah.
Well, just going back here a little bit. There it is. Sherry had asked, when should you go in informed? And like you were talking about, I think with our team, what we do is we do the walkthrough crew, that they go in, they know everything that's going on. They may hide some stuff from some people to see what they pick up there and everything. But it's, someone's got to know something before you go, because that's dangerous, just walking into a place and not knowing anything about it. Not just attacks, but, it could be even a weak floorboard, where you can fall through or something like that. Willow, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I always go in blind, but that's me. But a lot of times if I'm going to go into a location to do an investigation, the spirits are already coming to me ahead of time. So I will already know before I even get to the location.
Right.
I think that's even been going on for the hotel bar and grill. I've been seeing things, picking up on things, getting flashes, images, and things like that. So they're like, they know I'm coming.
Yeah.
Well, they know I'm coming.
Well, that's like that. I'm trying. That's like when we were doing that show. Again, I'm going back to that show that we did with Chris Riggins. The funny thing is, all of a sudden my camera went off and Jerry's doorbell rang at the same time. Like if they're already starting to visit us, you know what I mean? And I'm starting to feel that way. I'm starting to feel, the closer the time gets, the more I feel like the spirits of that place are trying to already, talk to us or see us or visit, actually,
Yeah.
So, and that's what happens to me. Honestly, that's the same thing, Willow. It happens to me sometimes. Not all the time, but I will get the spirits before we do an investigation, like prior to a week or 3 days or whatever before we do an investigation.
Yeah.
So, and that happens. It really does. So I think it's interesting, especially right now, and I'm so excited about this investigation because especially, doing it around this time. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I always try to find special investigations for around, the veil being the thinnest, because that's the time to do them. If you want to get information, you want to see some actual evidence, that is the time that you should be doing it.
Exactly.
Well, now, curious, which one do you feel has more, power to it, whatever you want to call it, in this time of the year or in the spring? Because the thinness of the veil happens twice in a year.
I always feel that around this time of year it's stronger for me. It's just stronger. It's just stronger energy. I've always felt that.
I feel
this
when
is
it's
my time.
I feel when it's springtime, it's the rebirth.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like it's new birth, like the new birth of of the animals, the new birth of new, babies. Even though people have babies all year round, I just feel like it's the new birth of, your trees, and because they're so bare, and then all of a sudden you see these little green, because there's new leaves coming in and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the new birth of that veil.
So do you think then that the fall time or the winter time and stuff like that is the end, sort of like in the native belief of looking to the east, which is the new day coming, and the west being the end of days?
Yes. It's like the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, definitely. I always feel like fall is the death of a lot of things. Also, what I have found through experience, that people who are ill, and I don't want to scare anybody, but I have lost most of my loved ones in the month of October.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
The veil is so thin, it's easier for us to cross into it as well. My father died on October 10th. My medicine mother died October 22nd. My dog even died on October 10th. It's like, and more people I see, oh, it's October. Okay. Say no more.
Right.
It's the time of endings. October is the time of death. It's not a bad thing, because I just see death as a transition into a new beginning. So for me, it's sad, but it's not for me as much.
Right.
And I think maybe it's because of my knowledge of the other side and how I work with them all the time, that for me, it's like I already know what's there, so I don't fear it. And others may fear it because they don't know what's on the other side. And so that's the difference.
So, like, the other thing I wanted to touch base is, like, winter solstice. Like, when you're looking at, so, we've done a lot of, like, when I work with squatchers, we go out during winter, and when we're walking, or like it's evening, I kind of feel like everything is dormant, but at the same time, there's so much, like, energy out there, in a sense. I mean, it's quiet, but it makes you feel more humble. I don't know how to explain it. When you're walking and the winter solstice, and it's just seems like a beautiful time. And then when the moon is hitting the snow, and it's just gorgeous sometimes,
Yeah.
and I feel like you get connected in a sense with the air, with mostly like the air. And I just feel like, or just even the snow. I don't know, but to me, there is a moment in the winter time, even even though things are dormant.
I think it's also like you have the barren trees, and so things even though that they're not dead, they present themselves as being dead. Mm-hmm. I think that's part of it. Other than, of course, your pine tree type of plants, the evergreens, but if you look at all the trees that lose their leaves in the winter, you just feel this sense of the death around us.
Right.
So, even though the veil is starting to get thicker again,
right.
It still leaves that magical time. That energy is still there.
Yep.
Because you feel the death.
Yeah, and I think it makes you feel more connected, just even with yourself. Yes. When you're walking and you're just enjoying that cool air, that cold air, and it's making you feel alive again when you're breathing it. You know what I mean? Right. And it's just the beauty, and everything's just dormant and quiet, and you seem to get in touch with yourself more. So I don't know. I believe that. So. Well,
yeah, and then also with Yule, for the pagans listening, for Yule, that is the time of the rebirth of the sun. The coming of the new sun. Christians say it's the birth of Christ. So for us, it's the birth of the sun. The sun, however you want to spell it. Right. But it is the beginning. So it's the start of when things start to get light again, start to warm again. And so it is a time, it is kind of like a time, I guess, when the veil would be a little bit thinner, but starting to get thicker.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys still there?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
here.
We're here.
Oh, all of a sudden I couldn't hear nothing, and it just stopped. I'm like, oh my God.
You ran into the veil, Jerry.
Yeah, I ran right into the veil, smacked me in the face.
Have you ever felt that when you've gone into an investigation? If you ever walked into, like, it feels like a wall and all of a sudden you can't hear?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. We've had that in Faribault, Jerry, over
Yep.
there by the children's, that
Yep.
what is it, vortex? It's a vortex or
Vortex.
a portal of some sort. And then you don't hear. It's so bizarre. It is so bizarre. You can't hear nothing. And it's like a wall. And you could see everybody, but nobody's paying attention to you because
Well,
they can't hear you in a sense.
it depends upon what side of the vortex that you're on, because that certain time that May went and she had a group of people and she was taking them through where the baby graves are. And as she went through, she, did the trek around and was coming back.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, I don't know where they are. And I had a 6D cell flashlight, and I pointed it right in her face from about 30 feet away. She's like, I think I can hear somebody, but I don't see them. Nobody could see them, right? Now, the person standing behind her was a girl I know by the name of Terry, and she had my infrared camera going. So as I started yelling out, May, keep it down, okay? We're doing an EVP session over here. And she says, I think I can hear Jerry. And it's like, wait a minute. I got a flashlight in your face,
Yeah.
She can't hear me that well.
Yeah.
And so I'm like waving it back and forth and stuff. And then finally she walked out of it when she was like maybe 15 feet away. And so Terry said, Jerry, it was nothing. There was no sound. There was nothing. We could hear little bits and pieces once in a while. And it was so weird because everything was just so black. There was even no moonlight. And when we looked back on the tape and stuff, I was able to look at the tape, but I couldn't get it out to go onto my computer. It was black. You can hear May saying that she can hear my voice. She can't see us. And at that time is when the 6D cell Maglite flashlight was right in her face, and it's not even on film.
Huh.
Though yet I could see May on there.
Right.
It was just too weird, that even happened. And then another time where Casey, and this was, I think it was in the evening. There was still lots of light. And Steph and I, Casey, just the team, Sim, were there. And Casey's phone was ringing or something. I can't remember. She had a voice recorder on, and she went running back to the truck. And we heard the truck. We seen the truck. Casey did not see the truck or even hear the truck. And when we played back her voice recorder, there was no sound of that truck.
Ah.
It was insane. It's just like it came out of nowhere. So down there at that at Walcott, it's pretty bad.
It
What-
is.
Bad.
What time of year was that?
That was
No, November, wasn't it? Like in
I
November,
think it was in
maybe?
November. Yeah.
Like early November.
Well,
So the
it
veil was still thin.
Yeah, the veil was very much still thin. Nowadays, Kim, if you and the team are going to go down there, be extra careful, because there's they call themselves a little gang that's down there. Yeah, of certain people that, they're ishy. Plus there's they say that there's kids that walk the railroad tracks looking for people that are up there, and they try to steal stuff from them.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
So
and the last time I think I was there, Jerry, was I think a while back ago. You told me, oh, we should all go down there. It was a while back ago. I think like when COVID, because we were still wondering about COVID. But when I looked at it, it was horrid. Like, it was so sad. It just breaks my heart every time I see that place because it just runs down completely. So,
Oh.
and there are a lot of little children buried there and stuff like that. And yeah, did I ever tell you guys how I got that ghost because he came to visit because I took a ceramic frog that somebody gifted the children, and I picked it up because it was broken, and I thought, oh, somebody's going to get hurt with this thing because it was thick ceramic, you know. So I picked it up and I said, I will bring you something back, you know. I told the children, and the next night, not even the next night, that night, a little visitor came in my dream and, you know, was just standing there looking at me. And I said, what are you doing here? Go back to where you, because I already knew that's who he was, you know. And I was like, you go back to where you belong or else I will not bring you anything back. Go on, you know. I was telling him. It was so funny. And right away, the dream just went away. So, yeah, so it's just a reminder. I got to remember, you know, never take anything from any place.
Nope.
You know, but I didn't really take it. I kind of like threw it in another ditch so that way nobody would get hurt. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I said, I will replace it. I just haven't been there yet. So I always say, you know, oh, I'm going to replace it one day. You know, I got to remember. So yeah, never ever take anything ever.
Not even a rock. Nothing.
No, not even nothing. Yeah.
Not a thing.
Mm-mm. So yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, that's interesting. You know, it's just like the place that we went to and did an investigation at just recently. You know, to me, it was really weird because we go in, we investigate. The only thing that was really around was was nothing. They're spiders, you know, that was about it. Mm-hmm. And when we kind of broke off into teams, Steph and Katie and myself and Bella, and we went outside, walked around for a little bit. We came back in, and just as we came in, you can hear voices saying something like, they're coming back, you know, or something like that. And then you can hear somebody whistling. And I don't even know what they were whistling, you know, some kind of weird tune or something like that. It was really strange. Uh-huh. But, you know, it was very, very incredible. And that would be before the veil. When do you feel the veil starts to get thin?
For me, I have always looked at the full moon before November 1st. So whatever the full moon is in October through the full moon in November. That is when it is at its thinnest. Now, right now, I think with everything going on in the world, that the veil has thinned a little bit early. Mm-hmm. But you're going to find it even more so between the full moon, which is October 20th, through November 19th.
Okay. November is my month because I was born in October. I love
cool.
Yeah, so I was born in October 5th.
So wait a minute, you just said November is my month because I was born in October?
I messed that up.
Yeah.
I messed it up.
Okay, no. Cece, do you want to find her a dozen cookies, please?
Sorry.
She can like November if she wants to.
Okay. Well, yeah, but it's because that was just weird. Have you been drinking? I guess I haven't noticed.
No, I don't know. I do that a lot sometimes, so it sounds like I'm drinking. It does.
Gotcha.
I didn't know this was a no drinking hour. How are we supposed to deal with you, Jerry, if we're not drinking? Just question.
Well, you know what? This is it. This is the last time I sit in front of this camera naked and do the show.
Oh, Lordy.
Do it again.
Oh, God.
No, it's not going to happen. Don't even beg.
Well, thank God. Whew, glad I said what I said.
What other host ever says anything like that? That's just wrong.
I hope not.
Oh, crap.
I do have to say, though, there's been a lot of crazy murders and deaths and all kinds of nuts. I mean, it's been
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
I
very crazy.
noticed that a lot. So it must be that whole.
Well, I mean, we've had a lot of that here, but we've also just had that hurricane, and people
Right.
get really crazy. And like, there was somebody that literally threatened the mayor of New Orleans because the garbage hadn't been picked up.
Wow.
Like, threatened to shoot this mayor because
Yeah,
of
just
that.
random weird stuff.
Wow.
Weird
Yeah.
things. And it's like, I understand because literally the flies have been so bad. The smell has been so bad because people had all that rotten food in their refrigerators
Oh, yeah.
from all of the power being out, and then we had no garbage pickup. And our garbage picked up over here once a week, I think it was. I'm in a suburb of New Orleans, so I'm like 5 minutes out of it. So we're in a different parish. We're in Jefferson Parish, and Orleans Parish is where New Orleans is. But New Orleans, it was like the garbage people went on strike. So people were threatening, like they were throwing garbage on the mayor's lawn, on City Hall. It was getting crazy. But people were shooting each other over gas.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
sure.
believe it. I believe it.
So when all that stuff was going on over there, so many photos were coming from New Orleans I'm not saying anything about women here, okay? I'm just saying they kept showing this one woman who would triple up plastic bags and fill them with gasoline and put them in the back
Really?
of her car.
Well, she was stupid. Not all of us are that dumb.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh,
and
my
I'm
gosh,
like,
that's hilarious.
It is
you
just
know,
the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
we
So not
have
a
a name
curiosity.
for them.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So
We
I'm-
call them coon, and we'll just say donkey. You'll figure out what the word is.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I
Yeah.
got it. I got
So-
it.
Yeah.
So question. Now, do you guys feel a shift down there in New Orleans when the hurricane comes through?
Yes.
Okay.
Anytime we have that, we have a lot of more activity. Any kind of flooding, we have that activity heightened as well.
Gotcha. What happened to the gas bags? Don't know.
I'm sure they leaked. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure they did all over her car, and she
Yeah.
wondered why. All right, guys. Well, this is we got the music playing, so that means it's time to end it, and it's time for Geeks Paranormal coming right after us. So I want to thank everybody for listening in. Para X radio station, you guys rock, and Sarge, you rock the most. You're awesome. Anyway, we'll see you guys all next week.